everyone. Welcome to BadgerBeat.com. Rob Hernandez alongside Tom Oates. Time to grade the Badgers for their 34-24 win over Minnesota that lands the Badgers in the Big Ten championship game. And Oatesy, a lot of great performances in tough circumstances today. We start first with the offense. You give the O a D. I'm sorry, a B. A B. Holy cow.
I consider myself a tough grader, but not that tough. No, I think if you look at the offensive performance, first of all, you have to look at what's a pretty good Minnesota defense.
Right.
Not sure about the back end, but the front seven, very physical and fast, and has had good success this year. Melvin Gordon found it difficult. He couldn't break a truly long run. He had a couple in 20-some yarders, but they were clearly concentrated on stopping him. I thought Corey Clement was a great change of pace when he came in there. He ran, looked like he had fresh legs, which he should. He's been out a couple weeks, basically. And then at some point in the game, they started throwing the ball and having success. And I just thought just a real solid offensive performance, took advantage of what the defense was giving them, which is good news because earlier in the year they couldn't really do that. So all in all, a pretty solid offensive performance against a very good defense.
So it was a B for the offense and a B for the defense. So the Badger defense had to make some adjustments after falling behind 17-3 again at home, and they were able to do it.
Yeah, they came out in a three-safety defense with one cornerback, which was probably designed to stop the run, and Minnesota still ran the ball. I think Minnesota uses a lot of shifts and motions and things like that. I think that gave the Badgers a little difficulty. But once they started seeing things over and over, they started adjusting to it, and gradually they took away the running game and put the onus on Gopher quarterback Mitch Leidner to pass the ball, and he just is not a very accurate thrower, and he wasn't really able to hurt them through the air. So, again, a very solid defensive performance against one of the better running teams around.
Well, and Oatsy, special teams get the lowest grade today, a C. I think Badger fans have to come to accept the fact that Kenzel Doe is going to try to be a playmaker for better or worse, and today there were a couple times where it put the Badgers in bad spots.
Yeah, a bit of an adventure for Kenzel today. He fumbled on the first punt and basically handed Minnesota some points. And then later on he interfered with the punt returner trying to make the catch. You just shouldn't have that out of a senior player, and I don't quite understand that. Maybe it's senior day and he's all worked up, and like you said, he tries so hard to be a playmaker, and he has made a few plays over the years. But that was a minus. But there were pluses too. I thought Andrew Endicott's kicking kept a very dangerous receiver on kickoffs pretty much off the board for the most part. Gaglianone again, continued his streak with a nice solid field goal, and all in all, it wasn't a horrible performance on defense, but there were just a few mistakes that you just can't have against a good team, and it almost hurt him in this game.
Well, punter Drew Meyer even popped a couple for
I've said all along, I thought that Drew Meyer, that they started asking him to do too many different things, to kick Aussie style, to kick rugby style, and it seems they've gotten him back to punting the way he could punt, and he started booming the ball again a little bit. And I always thought Drew Meyer was a good punter, and he kind of showed today maybe he's back to that.
Well, the grade for coaching today in this game, Oates, there had to be a lot of it, a B. A lot of, I think, smoke coming out of the ears of some coaches today, just trying to, find the right chemistry, find the right play calls on both sides of the football. First of all, to get the Badgers back in the ball game, and then second of all, to finish it off.
Well, you look at Andy Ludwig on the offensive side. I think, at some point in the game, he decided, look, if the Gophers are going to commit this many resources to stopping the run, we are simply going to have to throw the ball. And he found different ways and different places to throw the ball. Everything wasn't just a play action, throw the ball deep to Alex Erickson. There were a number of patterns, over the middle, out patterns, and things like that. And I thought they found a good. They threw the ball maybe one of their better throwing games all year. That's good coaching there. Defensively, I thought. It was more the players that had to adjust to what was happening on the field. But Dave Aranda, who's a kind of a quiet, behind-the-scenes, manipulator kind of coach, blew his stack a little bit on the sideline I think a lot of people wondered about that, and that's not him, and that's out of character, but the defense responded. So that's good coaching.
Yeah, they sure did, and in a big way. And now overall today, Oates gives the Badgers a B for their win over Minnesota, and it gets them back into a Big Ten championship game against what is now an injury-depleted Ohio State team. So this is going to be a curious week for the Badgers and for this program under Gary Anderson.
You know, it wasn't a dominant performance, but that's a good team. You have to admire what Jerry Kiel has done at Minnesota. They've become a rough physical team. In some ways in the mold of the Badgers and Iowa and Nebraska, and they kind of fit right into this West Division. But a few years ago, Minnesota could not have stood up to the physical presence of the Badgers. Well, they did in this game, and I think he's on the right track there, and that's why I think this was a really nice win for the Badgers. It sends them into the Big Ten championship game feeling really good about themselves, and I think having maybe the most complete team that they have had at any point this year. They're throwing the ball better the last few games. They continue to run the ball. The defense is good. They have a lot going for them, and I think they've elevated themselves to where a game against Ohio State is no longer something you might fear.
Well, those are Oates' grades here for the Badgers' win over Minnesota. And folks, believe it or not, we'll grade the Badgers again next week after the Big Ten championship game against the Buckeyes in Indianapolis. For Tom Oates, I'm Rob Hernandez. Thanks for watching Badger Beat.